Okay, so we've seen some big gardens, rooftop gardens today. We've seen some medium-sized ones. This is a small one. This is 270 square meters on top of our office building. Of course, these pictures are taken from August last year, so it looks more colorful than it currently is, but it's actually coming along pretty well. This is our office building. It used to be the headquarters of the Farmers Union, and then the whole square is being developed. They're changing to another office, and in the meantime, the building will be empty for 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows how many years. So we moved in to the third floor, somewhere behind here, in 2017, and we quickly went up to the rooftop to see what was there, and found out that it was basically a large balcony that fewer and fewer smokers would use. And then we started playing with the ideas of building a rooftop garden. And the rooftop garden is called Tak for Maten, which is a good play on words in Norwegian. Tak means roof, but if it's double K, it would have been thank you. And Tak for Maten means thank you for the food. And it's what we say after we've had a nice meal to the person who made it. So it's thank you for the food, but roof for the food. Very happy with that pun. And what's different with our rooftop compared to the other things, the stories that we've seen today? Well, we're trying to do quite a lot of things at the same time. So it's not just rooftop farming, but we're also working with ecology, environment, and sustainability in many aspects. We're working on inclusion and equal opportunities, circular economy, definitely livability and lovability of the city, which ties in really well with what Leon said. And then we have to talk about the green jobs of the future. Because I think the most important message is that in the future, all jobs will be green. But what are those jobs? We have no idea. Well, we know some of them, but we don't know especially we don't know what the jobs for the less educated half of the population will be. And there's a lot of up-and-coming green jobs related to rooftop gardening that we can and should create. So that's part of what we're doing. We work a lot with local minority youth. We're in the most multicultural part of Oslo, so we teamed up with the local high school, and we created a youth program called Oslo Living Lab, where they get training in the sustainability and environmental stuff. They work on business and circular economy throughout the year, because we can't just have activities in the few months that the garden is productive. We have to find jobs and activities for the rest of the season. Our youth are some of the least ambitious youth in Oslo, until you start talking about entrepreneurship. And that is triggering a flame. So this is them looking all cute and with the makeup on and getting ready for the photographer. This is when they were told to look badass. But it's an amazing group of youth. We've had a lot of fun working with them. Adam is the main coordinator of the program, and Idil is the gardener that works a lot with the hands-on activities with them. So it's a team effort, and it's an exploratory effort, because we don't have the solutions, but we have to test things. During the winter season, we test a lot of composting, and we do that to look at the roof as a part of the building, and the building as a part of the city block. So how can we connect resources within the building and within the city block and channel them in a smart way towards the rooftop? So this is, for example, this is at the local supermarket. The youth going bananas over realizing how much perfectly fine food is being thrown out in a supermarket. And at least we can compost some of it and produce soil for it, because the rooftop garden will need nutrients filled up, topped off all the time. So we can get that from far away, or we can get it from as close as possible. I have a small video where the youth themselves explain what they're doing. I really hope the sound worked, because it's the 5th time I'm trying to do it in the presentation, and it's never worked before. So I'm very hopeful. Yes.
This is where Oslo Living Lab works.
Did I hear Oslo Living Lab? Can you please define what it is?
I got you. Oslo Living Lab is a program run by the youth from Greenland, Oslo. Together we find opportunities for circular programs to create a sustainable and inclusive city. We are the future of Greenland. Sis, tell them how we work.
Easy. We have divided the group into thinkers and builders. The thinkers is the brain of the group. They do everything from making a logo, a business plan, and even like all the tasks that the builders do is run by the thinkers. The builders do all the hard work. They do everything that is physical. They make everything from boxes to like have the compost in and everything. You can ask them anything about compost, bokashi, and food waste. They got you. Even though we are divided in two groups, we still keep contact. Communication is key, and that's something we have learned through this program.
Yay! So, part of our daily running of the roof is covered through the youth program, because it turns out when we're applying for money, the combination of minority youth and circular economy, that's a hit. So we've been lucky to get quite a lot of funding from all sorts of different sources. But finding a way to find a good economic sustainability of the rooftop is a challenge. That's why we're really happy that we're now inaugurating the social side of the deck, so it's now open for rent. So that's one, so we're standing on more economic legs. We also are testing out different ways of making more money with less food. So for example, instead of selling the honey, we're now just a couple of days away from having on tap on the bar on the first floor our own honey beer. So those kilos of honey can be sold for a certain value, but if it's made into honey beer, it's a lot more valuable. And it's also because it's such a small roof that the crops are really too small to do anything about. Actually, it's too small to sell quantity, and right now it's too much for us to eat. So we're struggling a little bit to just, can we eat more salad at lunch? So that's where it's currently at. In addition to that, we also work a lot with consultancy and projects along with property developers and all sorts of local and international projects, because there are so few people that know anything about the realities of rooftop farming. And they're all looking for, you know, like they often come to us with a quick question like, how much does a rooftop garden cost? And I was like, well, how much does a summer house cost? You know, is it 1 bedroom, no electricity, high up on the mountains? Or is it, you know, a 12-bedroom dipped in gold with your own private servant? You can't really ask that question. And it's making it very difficult for the people that could scale up green roofs to make any decisions. So that's why I'm really happy to connect more with Rotterdam so we can maybe test out that price, that economic model, for example, to try to figure out some numbers on some basic models. In the presentation earlier today, I was showing you the example of the bee that was struggling so much in that peony, because it really wanted to do things their own way and just ignore their surroundings. That's what architects tend to do. But instead, it should be as smart as all the other bees on this rooftop. There are 40,000 of them. And not focus on what on the surface looks like the fantastic and prettiest solution and the most unique and whatever, because there's so many other solutions already existing everywhere. We can learn from Rotterdam, we can learn from New York, we can learn from Copenhagen, from Berlin, from everywhere. And it's wonderful that we're connecting with the Green Roof, World Green Infrastructure Network, because there's such a potent source of information. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can just pick and harvest what's already available. So I think that's my key message of today, is that let's just do whatever everyone else is already doing and which is already working. And then we'll just do a gliding transition to our staff member Idil, who's originally from Turkey, and who will share some experiences from her Turkish rooftop in Istanbul, because we need more women.